Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to. I'm Bushka on BLitz, and I'm back today with another in the series of my favourite tanks. This time, we're touching on Tier 8 and the Tier 8 heavies. And unlike some of the other tiers, in a big surprise to those of you who haven't been watching the channel for a while, this is a unanimous tank for me. There are no other tanks that I would prefer to drive than this. This is the Caernarvon. I know there are some very, very famous tanks at Tier 8 that are heavies. You have your IS-3 Defenders, you have your Lurvers, you have your T-34s, you have your IS-6s, you have your IS-3s, your KV-4s, your IS-5s, your IS-6 Fearless, the IS-2SH, the Glacial 112, all these big angry tanks with 400 alpha for the most part, and very bad gun handling but really strong armor profiles. You can stick them. I'll take this guy every time and twice on Sundays. This is the Caernarvon. It has just the most glorious gun. The Lurver is renowned for being a very, very strong gun. It has a .299 dispersion on a Tier 8 heavy. It has an aim time of 2.08 seconds and 8 degrees of gun depression. Well, guess what? The Caernarvon kicks its butt. It has .29 dispersion, so 3% better dispersion than even the Lurver, which is renowned for that. It has a 1.72 second aim time. That is without vertical stabilizer, enhanced gun lane drive, all that kind of stuff. And it also has 10 degrees of gun depression. The gun on this is otherworldly, and it seems so out of place and out of character for a Tier 8 heavy tank. I get people all the time who don't realise how good this tank is, and they push on it. You have 226mm of pen on your flat out standard AP rounds. You have 258 on your APCR. The key with this tank is it's only got a 190 alpha gun, which is very, very low for a Tier 8 heavy. And it used to be terrible back in the day when it was stuck with premium non +1 -1 matchmaking, and you would come up against Tier 10 heavies who just had too much armor and too much alpha, and they could smash you. But since it went to +1 -1, this thing has become my absolute darling when it comes to a Tier 8 heavy tank. There's some other things about it you need to realise. Its on-the-move dispersion, as in the turret rotation, is 0.14. That is like driving a really good medium tank that has very good on-the-move dispersion, or a light tank. It has 0.14 on a heavy, and it's pretty bloody mobile for a heavy, and people make the mistake all the time of pushing on this tank. It's got 2,554 DPM with gun rammer and new rations. I mean, that is medium tank style damage per minute numbers, and it's got 1,600 hit points. It is an absolute crackerjack machine. It has penetration, gun handling, dispersion, all of it in the bag. It's incredible. And the ability to actually spend spare parts on a tank like this, I mean, you'd think it was soft, but it's not. It really, really isn't soft. It's got a strong turret. It's got a strong armor profile. You can get through it, but you've got to use Premo a lot of the time. And it's really, really wide with big, big tracks, so you can side scrape and bounce a lot of shots. And for a tank this big, it's deceptively mobile. And I mean, look at this guy going 50 kilometers an hour around the place. And the Caernarvon has no problems. Look at the size of the actual reticle. It's just tap, tap, tap every time. You pen everything. You don't need to go to premium ammunition very, very often at all, which means you absolutely can keep your damage per minute numbers right up there. And even when you do go to Premo, you can still pump out 2,150 damage per minute, which is more than some of the other good tanks in the game at this tier have, like the AMIGOS 5100, the Tiger 2, the IS-3 Defender. All these guys have under the damage per minute numbers that the Caernarvon puts out when they're using normal ammunition. It's like the best kept secret there is. I absolutely adore it, and I play it really aggressively. It's bouncy, it's able to get to spots other tanks can't, and with that, someone says, where is Bushka? And we say, ahoy! and then we're going to push up. You're going to see what I mean here. Its pickup is really, really good. Now, I am running this thing kitted out for spare parts because that's the whole point of this series. These are the tanks you should spend your hard-earned spare parts on. Now, a lot of people might struggle to hit and miss with this thing. They might think it's not the best thing on the planet, and they might prefer their IS-6s, and those tanks are probably more straightforward point-and-click style tanks that you can drive. But if you want a tank that absolutely pens so often and can really pump out the damage and can get 2 shots out for the 1 shot, I mean, look at the reload time, 4.5 seconds. You can permatrack tanks, and you're going to see me do that in this fight. I'm going to push around here, just looking for an opportunity. I'm very aggressive in it. You can see it wiggles and jiggles. It's got really good traverse numbers for a heavy tank. It is like the Conqueror that comes at tier 9, such an unsung hero. And you can see I'm using the map here. I'm going to keep that KV4 there. He's going to have to deal with the guys behind me. I've got around here while he's trying to wait for me to go and side scrape with him. And I'm just going to pump this Panther M10, bounce shots, keep an eye on that KV4 behind me. He's in a really tough place, this Panther M10. He's hoping that he can push forward. No good. I'm just going to keep coming up on him. I'm angled up really nicely, moving back and forward. You can see how quickly it moves too for a tank this big, and it is absolutely massive. Make no bones about it. It is a huge tank. It is wider than your IS-6 Defenders and everything like that. And I'm already turning back towards this KV4, and you'll see, caught that one, got him on the tracks, drop adrenaline, and we've gone down to a lovely rate of fire. We have 3.7 seconds between shots. He's just stuck. He can't actually hit us. We're side scraping. He can't pen. We're just bouncing back and forth, putting shots into his tracks, not letting him move. That's a heavy tank doing this. I mean, that's a tool in the box that there are not many other heavy tanks in the game. Certainly won't find them at this tier that can do that kind of thing. And the Brit heavy tanks are absolutely gorgeous at it at tier 8. And tier 9, I love the Conqueror. I adore it. It's a brilliant tank. I don't know if it's going to be my favorite. I want to go back and drive it and a couple of the others because there are a lot of big tanks at tier 9 that I really, really enjoy. And there's some real crowd pleasers there like the E75 and the VK4502B. And the tier 9 is going to be super tough. But it's funny that in the tank tier that is most renowned for heavy tanks and most renowned for, you know, big tanks that just boom and bust, and now I was with my mate Mackie, this just stands out for me. It shines. I'm playing with Mac the Knife. If you want to see what I mean about the gun handling on this, I miss a few at the start, but it is a laser. It is a laser beam. It is an amazing tank with an amazing gun. Shell velocity is pretty good on this too. It's 1020, which isn't amazing for its tier. So I do run supercharge instead of enhanced gun lane drive, in fact, because you don't really need any more aim time help. If you're running vertical stabilizer with this thing, your aim time goes absolutely through the roof. You get down to 1.59 seconds. And I mean, you can see just the reticle is tiny. That's without enhanced gun lane drive, which is just absolutely crackers. And your velocity goes up to 1122, which means your already very, very quick shells go very, very quick indeed. And look at the shots. Shots like that, it's got the gun depression to do it, and it's not slow, and its armor isn't bad. People think it's got bad armor. I mean, we get unlucky here with a bounce off. It would have been a kill shot in that guy after that 402 hit, but the armor isn't bad at all. The armor, in fact, is quite good when you angle it up, and the turret is more than strong enough to go hull down with and jiggle and wiggle. It's just, I couldn't believe it when I got a hold of this tank. It was one of those reviews I did where I simply said, oh, I've got to go and do the Caernarvon, because I rage sold this tank when I first got it. What happened was, I didn't rage sell it, sorry, I rage free XP'd it. I spent lots of cash on this to get rid of it because I hated it so much when the line came out. I got stuck in a whole run of tier 10 games, and I was running up with 190 alpha shots, and an E100 would push around a corner and hit me for 640. And it hit me every time, and he had 2,500 hit points, and he was just smashing me, and it would happen with all of them, and they're the IS-7s and tanks like that. It was really, really tough to deal with Tear Tint. Look at this shot. This is just ridiculous. Yep, no worries. We'll just tap him on the top of the turret. Absolutely no problems at all. And we see the Tiger 2 walking over there. Snapshot, bang, bounce. Love it. Against same tier competition, this thing is just brilliant. And people, look at this shot. I mean, please, can you get out of town with this gun? This is a heavy tank. A heavy tank pulling off shots like that, like 3 in a row. Just snap, snap, snap. Really good shots. And look at it bouncing as you angle it up correctly. Now, they're going to see me here. I know they're going to push down. I mean, they know who I am. They've already said g'day, so I'm already backing up to get back around that corner. I'm ignoring the IS-6, just going for the Tiger 2. I'm going to back around here and bounce a shot from the Borsig as he comes around that corner. I've got my angle set. Get one on the tracks. That's all good. Push down. This is about the only shot it lets me down on, and it hits. I think it just hits the gun. And then we take our time, we move down, and Mackie takes him out for us in the 54 mod 1. That's it, guys. I mean, I can't be more emphatic about it. This is my favourite Tier 8 Heavy. I don't know if it will be for you. I don't know if it has a higher skill set than I give it credit for, because it's certainly not. You can see I'm not just driving it forward. I'm angling all the time. I'm using the gun to actually get into these little shots, and I mean, just bang, look at that. Get out of town. It's a Tier 8 Heavy. But if you can drive it, it will reward you, and reward you endlessly. I'm Bushka on Blitz. I'm so happy to have had a chance to do a video on the Caernarvon again. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield.